What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. How are you?
Dude, I'm actually very, very happy. I think you're a happy guy as well.
Still reeling from
Uh,
Sugar Sean, baby.
yeah, I'm happy with Sean. I'm glad you got me to take that dart. I'm happy with my boy Cheeto.
Your boy
Um,
Cheeto did it. That was a close decision. He got 30-27, but it was a close fight.
he did all the damage.
Yeah,
So,
he did.
um, but I really started off right with that submission by Silva in the first round. That was a nice plus 225. I had a good amount on that. So it was nerve wracking, but once that hit, I was in the clear for the rest of the card. So
How bad
uh,
was our Neil Magny bet?
um, I don't think it was that bad. Something. I mean, first of all, I took the fight short notice. You got to understand that, which is fine. But I'm not going to lay anything. Ian Gary, who's minus 550. I mean, against a guy like Neil Magny, that's silly. So
Yeah.
I think we did the right thing. You can't win them all, but having Sean and then I had Sean by knockout, and I got a extra plus 150 boost on Sean by knockout for plus 480, which was insane.
That was crazy. And then did you see all the stuff that came out after the fact of him having like a separated rib or something and hadn't grappled in 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, listen, all those guys got injuries, so
Yep.
you know, I don't think Aljo was completely healed up. Aljo didn't even want that time, timetable. Sean had a year off. Aljo had 3 months, so it kind of is what it is. All those guys are banged up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he looked fucking impeccable in that fight though. He kept his back off the cage like he needed to and then landed that step to the side, right hand, Conor McGregor style. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was. I think he looked nervous at the start. To be honest with you,
For sure. He
um,
looked real nervous.
but then once that fight started, it was amazing. So it was good. Now we go to Saturday morning card for us East Coasters. I think it starts at like 5 in the morning.
Yep, 4 a.m.
So
for me. I'll be up
yeah,
too. I'm gonna wake up early and watch this. It means I won't have to watch it with my wife breathing down my neck because she's always like Saturday nights, let's go do stuff. So I'll get to wake up early. She'll still be sleeping. I'll get to watch the entire thing with a cup of coffee in my hand.
yeah, oh yeah. See, at least I get the extra hour. So it'll be good. This is one of those cards where I think it's kind of it doesn't seem the most appealing. It's not the sexiest card, but we know how those go. Last time the prelims 2 weeks ago, they were all bangers. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
I'm not sure. Did you watch any of the Road to the UFC where it was the Asian fighters and they had the tournament out of all of them? I'm
I
not,
did not.
dude. They were full of bangers. Some of I don't know what the culture difference is, but over in Asian countries, some of those fighters, like the Muay Thai type of fighters and stuff, they just are cool swanging and banging, man. Like it's a little different. Like it just feels like they're a little more action, and we got a couple of those guys on here. And I watched the Road to the UFC, the finales, and I believe the semis and the quarters, and they were all great fights. So we have some good prospects on here, just not well-known names for us North Americans. So it'll be some people who we don't know, but I think after this card there'll be some names that we do know. It'll be kind of like Tatsura Taira. Nobody really knew much about him because he comes from across
Yeah,
the globe, but after a few fights, everyone became pretty accustomed to who the guy was. So we got some good matchups here.
yeah. I got a nice little. I'm gonna put together a nice little Japanese parlay.
I like that. I think that'll be good. I was actually
So
looking at all of them earlier, the Japanese fighters, and was like, damn, they all have a pretty good shot. When I was looking over this card, this is the first fight though. We
so
got Sung Woo Choi. I mean, that dude's a badass who's been around with some good fighters. Lost to Caceres, Culabao, and Trezano versus Jarno Aarons, who just lost to William Gomis, and before that was not in the UFC. You have any strong lean here?
Um, Not really. I think if we just look at the pure pedigree, um, Troy has fought the harder competition. Obviously, they have him favored on Tapology. It wouldn't surprise me if he could turn it around after three losses and get a win. But you're also looking at trying to snap that streak. Um, Trezano is decent, but it's almost like he's been that's a step down from Kulabau. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not really too comfortable laying anything either way. If this was something where you just had to take a pick 'em, I might, I don't know, I maybe would put something on Jarno Aaron's, but I'm not feeling any of it. So I'll probably just, like you said, be getting my coffee, kind of getting settled in first thing in the morning while this one's going on.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm kind of a fan of Sungwoo Choi. I watched all of his UFC fights. So he fought Yusuf Zalal and he beat him. Julian Erosa beat him and then lost to obviously Caceres, Culibao, and Trizano. I think the dude is pretty decent. He's 30 years old. He's right in his prime. He's not, over the hump here yet. He does need to get back on track. And I do think he could beat the living shit out of Jarno Aarons. I think he's a better striker. This is his this will be near his home compared to fighting over in North America. All these other times where he's trained overseas and then had to come over for the fights. I think this is going to be a little bit better for him in that sense. And I also just think Jarno Aarons isn't that good. He came up to the UFC and he lost to William Gomis. Not that great of a fighter. We can go look at William Gomis. Let me go look here. William Gomis. So he is had in the UFC. He beat Francis Marshall by split decision, who we just saw get dominated. He beat Jarno Aarons. So these are his two wins. A guy by split decision that we saw get dominated in his last fight, and then Jarno Aarons, who was a UFC debutant in that fight there. So, for me, I don't think he has a really good loss, if you can call a loss good. And I think Sungwoo Choi is a decent fighter. I think he's a top 15 guy, to be honest, at the peak of his career. He's got to turn it around here. I think he will. And he's minus 175 on DraftKings. I think I'll probably have him in a parlay or two by the end of the week. I'll watch weigh-ins just to make sure he is big, 145 pounder. He's 6 foot, so he's not small. But I like Sungwoo Choi. Oh man, this
What do
is
you?
this is a chalk.
I know, I know. So we got Na Liang, the Dragon Girl, versus JJ Aldrich. This one, I mean, it has to be JJ Aldrich. I mean,
Yeah, it's gotta be. I think so too.
not to take away from Liang, but it's almost like she's gotten to the UFC 2 fights ago. She's lost both of them. She got knocked out in both of them. Granted, it was a year ago and then 2 years ago. But then you have JJ, who, she lost the decision and then she got subbed by Erin Blanchfield. So obviously, there's nothing, no shame in getting subbed by Blanchfield. And Aldrich has a win over Jillian Robertson, who I'm a huge fan of, Demopoulos, and Courtney Casey. Courtney Casey
Dogs.
isn't, yeah, she's not in the right home about, but they're experienced, and they could perform under lights. To me, this is simple. This is JJ all day. My only question would be is um, if she can finish her. I don't think she can. So maybe you can get a Aldrich by decision, but I wouldn't even add this in a parlay piece because this is something that is so chalk. Something freak could happen, and this could be something that blows up your parlay. There's not much risk reward on it.
What would the sub number have to be for you to take a shot of JJ Aldrich by sub? Because she doesn't have a submission win, but I think she's just levels above Na Liang. I feel like if it was above like plus 500, I would have to take a little chunk of that because I think Aldrich finishes her. Even though she doesn't have a sub, knockout by KO is probably going to be juiced as well because Na Liang has gotten knocked out both times she's been in the UFC. But like for you, what do you think? What do you think would get you in the ball game for a sub? Like what price?
Um, Honestly, nothing.
Nothing. You're keeping your arm's length distance from this one.
She's got 9 decision wins,
Yeah.
0 subs, and two knockouts. There's nothing about her that would make me. The only thing that would kind of give me some kind of hope is that Jillian Robertson didn't sub her out, but still, she's got nothing on her record for it. And then the same thing is Liang has 11 sub wins and only 2 losses. So Liang's better on the ground, jiu-jitsu wise, grappling. So I don't know. I don't think she's JJ's going to get subbed if Robertson didn't do it, but there's no way. There's absolutely no way. It would have to be a free $50 bet.
Yeah.
Um, for me to, you know what I mean? Where somebody said, "Oh, hey, bye, here you go. I put this bet down for you," and that would be it. And I'd be like, "Oh, that's a waste of money anyway."
Yeah, it would. I mean, her by decision is probably going to be something crazy. Like, I don't know what her by decision is going to be. It's going to be like minus 200, minus 250, minus 300, something stupid like that. I don't know though. I feel like her by sub could be a decent price. We'll see. If it's something big, I'll put like $20 on it and just fucking like watch it,
There's no way though. Why would you do that?
Because I think
I don't.
Aldrich grapples here. That's why. I think Aldrich grapples here. That's my only reasoning.
I think she could lay on her possibly, but she's not the better grappler.
Yeah. But she did out grapple Jillian Robertson, who I think is a better grappler than Na Liang.
Yeah, but I think there's a better chance for her to get a ground and pound stoppage
Yeah, I
than
agree.
anything else. I mean, ever since she's been in, she hasn't gotten a finish since was it 2019 knees and punches.
Whew. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. That's not correct. I apologize. 2016 in FCF.
Yeah, what the fuck is
So
that?
exactly. Um, yeah, there's not. Don't waste your money. I wouldn't want anybody else to waste their money, um, either. Yeah,
I can get
it's just
behind that.
it's silly. I think I can find 10 different other places where you could make that same wager of $20 and have a better reward lined up. Um,
I do like that. I feel like yeah, it's kind of like a weird situation. You're going with a girl who never gets finishes over a girl who's only been finished. It's like a weird spot where there's not a lot either direction that you'd want to play.
yeah,
Oh man, I do have a strong opinion on this one. I Kino Shida is his last name. I'm not even gonna try to say the rest of it, man. I'm not even gonna try to say any of it. Versus Billy Goff, and my lean here
he,
is I think Billy Goff is gonna take his head off. Um, Probably not, in a knockout or crazy fashion. But I think Billy Goff is just going to keep coming, and he's going to keep coming, and he's going to keep coming. He's going to walk him down. Uh, and we saw Kinoshita get finished by Adam Fugit, who is not a guy that we want to see you getting finished from at a UFC level. And so if he can do that, Billy Goff simply needs to be UFC caliber to do something similar, and I think Billy Goff is. So for me, he's going to be my first underdog of the card, and I'm honestly putting him in a situation similar to Isaac Dolgarian, the Midwest Choppa, where it's going to be an early card bet. And I like him based on I think he can grapple, and I think he can keep pushing the pace. And that's kind of those are the two parts that I really, really like about Goff's game. He was on Contender Series, if you guys remember him, but for the most part, he's a pressure guy, and he's gonna get in your face, almost like kind of a bad comparison, but a little bit Billy Q-ish, to where he's gonna walk through whatever he needs to, and he's gonna keep running right at your face. 25 versus 23-year-olds, so young guys too. So yeah, Billy Goff will be my first bet on the card.
So this is gonna be a fun card. I could already tell with you trying to pronounce stuff. So
You should try,
I mean,
man. Give me his full name, Tim. Give me his full name.
Yusaku Kinoshita.
All right, that's better than me. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect.
You should be the one pronouncing them then.
I should be. I'll do the hard ones. You can do the easy ones.
Michael
Like
Olenjezcek. That one's gonna be a big one.
All right. So here's my thing. This is gonna be the first part of my Japanese parlay. Granted, he lost to Adam Fugit, but it was a stoppage, almost from Mount 6 months ago. But before that, he's got a finish on a Contender Series, and then he's got a win in Pancrase. And then Ryzen, he has a loss in Ryzen, but that's because of a disqualification for grabbing the cage. And then he's got another win in Pancrase.
Oh, so you're betting on a cheater here, Tim. That's what's going on.
No, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's true.
But here's the thing. This kid has fought in Pancrase. He's fought in Ryzen. He was on the Contender Series, won the fight, and then got to the big show, and he lost. That's fine. I'm going to take the pedigree of somebody that's already fought in Ryzen and Pancrase over somebody that's been fighting in the CES MMA. I don't even know what that is. and then Cage Titans. Is that maybe that's what his other thing is?
That's the next UFC, bro. That's the next UFC.
I mean, to me it is just a pedigree thing. And I think he can get this done. I don't. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets caught, but I just think you're not fighting guys on the local scene in Connecticut. This guy's fighting some good people. So I'm gonna go Kinoshita on this one.
All right, our first disagreement of the night. I'm going Goff, and I'll have some money on that money line, and you're gonna have Kinoshita in a parlay.
Parlay, yeah.
Japan parlay.
The Japan parlay. All right, so coming up, I looked at this one. This one I feel pretty good about. So this is, of course, it's Chinese. I'm better with the Japanese. Kanan Song versus Rolando Bedoya. I like Song in this one. I really, really do. He's a moderate dog. We just saw him fight Ian Gary, and granted, he lost that fight and got stopped. He clipped Gary really, really good. And before that was 2.5 years ago, he lost to Max Griffin, but Max Griffin was a different person back then. And then he's got two other UFC wins. Lost to Alex Morono in a decision. This is going to be the same thing, man. This is um, just the pedigree of it. Uh, Bedoya just came into the UFC. His first fight was a loss to Chaos Williams 3 months ago. Granted, split decision, but before that, he's getting wins in the FFC and SFT and just the regional and lower circuit stuff. And he hasn't really. I don't think he's really been all that active. So I'm gonna go with the more active guy, the more experience, um, and I think it's he's a dog, but I think he's gonna get it done. What's your thoughts on it?
I was struggling with this one up until your spiel. I was thinking it was just gonna be a hard pass, but I'll take Bedoya because he's the favorite and because the age difference. But I kind of agree with your logic that Song has wins in the UFC. Granted, he's over the hump at this point. He's almost 34. He's not going to be getting any better between fights. And on the flip side, Bedoya is going to be getting much better between fights. But we haven't seen Bedoya pull off a win at the UFC level yet. And so I'm going to side with you here. I think I'm going to go Kenan Song as well, the assassin. I don't know if I'll get to betting it. I also like that he's out of Tiger Muay Thai. I don't know if I'll get to betting it, but for the purposes of having a pick, I'll take him. He's the dog. He has wins at the UFC level. His losses are pretty good. Max Griffin, is not the greatest loss, but also Max Griffin is not bad at fighting. Like Max Griffin is a guy who's, if you're not, a top level UFC athlete, he's gonna give you a run for your money. Like Max Griffin looked all right against Michael Morales. Granted, Michael Morales, got it done. But Max Griffin, held his own for enough. And I think Michael Morales is a future potential champ. So, Max Griffin is not a bad fighter. Ian Gary, future title contender. Alex Morono, also just an absolute dog. Alex Morono is that guy who looks like he should be working on computers, but he's out there throwing haymakers and killing dudes in the octagon. So I don't really see why I shouldn't take Kenan Song here. So I'll go right along with you, Tim. Kenan
Yeah,
Song, dog money, why not?
yeah. I think sometimes you just have to. I mean, look at the amount of trouble that he literally almost derailed Gary.
Magny
That would
couldn't
have
do
been
that.
that would have huge. And then if you know what I mean, and then like
Yeah.
exactly like he just did with Magny. I mean, he dog walked him for 15 minutes.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's something you just sprinkle a little bit on. But I think that could be a nice little piece. I'd feel more comfortable putting 20 on Song to win on the money line than JJ by sub, for example.
Bro, I might have to go song by finish and put that 20 on song by finish. You might get some good money on that. What is his? I'm pretty sure yeah. So out of his 19 wins, 9 of them are by KO, and only 2 of them are decision. So he's a finisher.
Yeah, he gets it done.
All right. Oh, here you go, Tim. Here are the names for you. You better run through these two.
Chidi and Joquani versus Mikhail Oleksiuk. Close?
Oleksiuk?
Alexi, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I always thought it was Olekashchek or Oleshchek. I don't know. Fucking something that was not what you said was what I thought it
We
was.
can we can go with Mikhail, right? Mikhail
Yeah, Mikal versus
and
Chidi.
Joquani versus Mikhail. Yeah.
Mikal versus
Um,
Chidi. I have a dude. I'm gonna go on a quick little rant here. I think Mikal kills him here. I think this is the best bet of the entire card is Mikal by absolute destruction here. I think he's probably the younger fighter. Well, he is. He's the younger fighter, getting better, and I think he's gonna land a fucking right hand from hell We can look at Chidi's last 2 fights. He lost to Albert Duraev and lost to Gregory Rodriguez. Two guys who hit pretty hard, two guys who are pretty good fighters. But I think Mikhail has the striking to put him away here. I think Mikhail could also go down a weight class, but that's a complete different talk for another day. I just think he's going to get him out of there real quick. Mikhail was fighting Kyle Baralho in his last fight, who Baralho is an absolute animal. But he was putting some combinations on him. Mikhail was putting some combinations on him. And then he beat Cody Brundage, Sam Alvey, lost to Dustin Jacoby, and he beat Shamil Gazmatov before that. I'm a Mikhail truther for a little bit here. And I think in this spot against the 35-year-old Chidi, this is the spot for me, I think. I think this will be the one that I'm probably going to have the most dough on, will be Mikhail by knockout. Well, I think I'm completely lying on that. I got about 3 or 4 other spots on this card that I'm going to be pretty passionate about. But Mikhail's my boy in this fight, I think. Tim, do you have a different opinion?
I'm not gonna. This might be something that I take the under 2.5. Duraev was a split decision, so one judge thought he won that fight. So with that being said, and losing, getting stopped by Rodriguez, I don't know, man. Todorovic, he's got the win over who's decent, Marc-Andre Barrio and Mario Sousa. I don't know. I think this could be a dogfight, to be honest with you. Granted, he is older, but if you look at whatchamacallit, Mikhail's last 3 fights, Brundage, okay, he's got the win. Barallo, he got subbed by, okay, it's a young guy coming up. Before that, Sam Alvey.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
That's a shitty fight.
Dustin Jacoby's kind of resurrecting himself, but that's nothing too special. I mean, I don't know. I think somebody's gonna get knocked out. I don't know who it's gonna be though.
It's gonna be Chidi. Dude, I'm telling you, Tim. Mikey O's hands are so much better than what I thought they were. I faded him for like his first 2 UFC fights. So when he fought Shamil and when he fought Dustin Jacoby, and his hands are so good, Tim. I'm actually amazed that he's not like doing better than he is in the UFC. His boxing is fucking crisp.
I know, but he's also 3 inches shorter. He's got a 6-inch reach disadvantage. Can he get close? That's going to be the thing. Can he get close? And we're talking a 6-inch reach advantage. We just saw Sean and Aljo, when it's a 1-inch reach advantage, how much of a difference that made. It made a difference between connecting and staying in the fight and getting dropped in the fight ending. So if it's that close, I would like to see what it is, what they open up at to get the win by knockout. But that one, I'm kind of gonna be Switzerland in it. I think if I had to be forced to pick a guy, I would say I'd go Njokuani.
Fair enough.
Njokuani. Bang, bang.
Fair enough. I just think Mikey O is going to run in there with his inside of the clinch or inside of the range boxing and throw up some combos that we haven't seen, because the man's got snappy striking, and I think he's going to put him away. But I'll look and see what him by knockout is. If it's like plus 150 or better, I'll probably take Mikey O by knockout.
It for sure will be better. It will for sure be better than plus 150.
I don't know. His win condition is usually knockout. If he doesn't knock people out, he usually doesn't win.
No.
Let's see what his... Let me check this out. Yeah, he's got 13 knockout wins, 4 decision wins. We'll see, though. If it's better than plus 150, I'll even be more pumped about it. Oh man, this is quite a
All right,
fight.
so here we go. Toshiomi Kazama versus Garrett Armfield. So this is going to be part two of my Japanese parlay. Um, guys are pretty much the same age, um, almost the same amount of fights. 10-3 for Kazama and 8-3 for Armfield. To be honest with you, on paper, neither one of these guys really look that great record wise. For being that young and having the three losses each. They both dropped two of their last five, but at the same time, I think the experience and just the training regimens and where these guys are coming out of. I'm gonna go Kazama, and I'm gonna go Kazama by a finish. I think both these guys are animals, and I think it's gonna end in a finish either way. Kazama um, only has 2 decision wins. He's got 3 knockouts and 5 subs. The only thing that scares me is 2 of his losses. He got knocked out. And then on the other side of it, Armfield, he, I mean, the kid's got 5 knockouts as well, 2 sub wins, and he's got 2 submission losses. So I think both these guys are finishers. I'm just leaning towards Kazama to get the finish. I think he's going to be the better athlete.
Yeah, so Kazama was one of those guys I was impressed with on the road to the UFC. He got knocked out in the finals in that last loss, first round, but that guy is a stud. So for me, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Toshiomi Kazama is the guy here. I think he's probably going to put a pace on Garrett Armfield in that first. Garrett Armfield, in my opinion, is going to need a grapple. I do like that Garrett Armfield is from Killcliff. So one thing I do really like, Killcliff's a pretty good gym. So it's one thing I do like, but Garrett Armfield's also dropping down from 145. He's coming down to 135 for the first time in his UFC career, and so that could be a possible issue. He's doing it in Singapore. That could be another issue. And I'm just feeling good about Kazama here and his odds, and I liked him as a fighter too. He's kind of a flashy. He's fun to watch. He brings it every single time, and I think he could honestly catch that fresh 135 chin after a heavy weight cut from his usual 145. I think he could catch him. So I'm gonna agree with you here. I think Kazama gets it done, probably by finish as well.
Yeah, you got to remember too. This is in Singapore,
Yeah,
so they're gonna be cheering on the Asian fighters as much as possible.
they're guys
So
for sure.
I don't think it's gonna matter if you're from South Korea, China, Japan. They're gonna get behind their guys.
I
Um,
agree. We got a good one
so
here. Heavyweight fight. Waldo
that
Cortez Acosta and Lucas Brzeski. This is
there you
gonna be.
go.
Yeah,
Hey,
you heard
you
me
just
there, Tim. This
beat
is
the
this is gonna be
Polish
my
guy.
second leg of the Poland parlay. You got the Japanese parlay. I got the Poland parlay. We're going Mikey O and Lucas Brzeski. Brzeski lost to Carl Williams, who, if you've seen that guy fight, he's like a freight train. And he lost to Martin Boudet by split decision. Martin Boudet's a beast. Martin Boudet's on a 6-fight UFC winning streak, if I remember right. Martin Boudet is a potential top 10 UFC fighter right now, which, I mean, if you watch him fight, you're like, how? But he is. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. Brzeski took him to a split decision. and then got beat by Carl Williams. Carl Williams, like I said, weirdly amazing wrestler. Beat a national champion wrestler in the Contender Series from Penn State, like a very, very good wrestler from Penn State. So for me, I think Brzezinski can just outstrike him here. I really do. Waldo Cortez Acosta, he lost his last fight to Marcus Rogerio de Lima. Before that, he beat Chase Sherman, Jared Vanderaa, and then on the Contender Series, Danilo Suarez. If you know Jared Vanderaa and you know Chase Sherman, you know that they both fucking suck balls. And for me, I think Brzezinski's the clear side here. At plus, I believe, let me go check the DraftKings to find the exact for you guys right now. He is plus 205 right now. So I'll have a parlay of Mikey O and Brzezinski in there somewhere. I have a feeling, Tim, you're not going to agree with me here.
No, I'm 100% with you.
Woo! Let's go.
Chase Sherman, I know his doppelganger, and he's actually recording right now on this with me.
Hey, dude, that's a fucking insult to me, to be honest. Chase Sherman looks like, gosh, he looks like he has anger issues and like punches his wife in between monsters.
He might. He might. You never know.
He might. Chase, if you're listening, I'm sorry. By the way, Chase, I didn't mean that.
Vanderaa, another. I mean, you're talking guys, especially with Vanderaa, who's almost 50-50 on the records. So,
yep.
And then you got, Rodrigo de Lima, who's 20-8. I mean, I get it. At the heavyweight, you're talking, anybody can shut the lights out. But Carl Williams, 7-1, he beat Brzezinski. Budai 10-1. He got before that he was on the Contender Series. He got why did they make that a draw?
I don't know.
Or was that a no?
No, so I can't remember. It looks like it was a no contest for some reason.
All right, but before that, he's fighting guys, that are 3-1, 10-5. So that's not great. That was on Contender Series, but then you're going 10-1 and 7-1. You're dropping fights to guys that are up and coming, and just straight hammers. I'm with you. I am with Brzezinski all day. I think he gets the finish here.
You think he finishes him? You think he knocks him out?
Yeah, I do.
I'd be more inclined to decision, I think.
You think so?
I don't know. Both these guys, it feels like once they got to the UFC level, they've been going to decisions. Like Brzezinski went to decisions. Cortez Acosta went to decisions once they got to the UFC level. But it also feels like that spot where Brzezinski could finally impose his power on someone. You know what I mean?
I think he can. I mean, listen, these guys are both 250 pounders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both of them are 6'4", and they can lay the Polish power and the Dominican power. I don't know. I think there's a lot on the line here for Brzezinski. I think he needs a win. He really, really needs a win, and I think he needs a finish, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and on top of that, Cortez Acosta looked real shitty in that Diego or Lima fight. Like, he had his moments, but for the most part, he was just getting chopped up and hit at range. And Lima has never really struck me as like an incredibly good striker. And Brzezinski, he's not a good striker, but he's got weapons and he's got length. So I feel like he's got a shot at just pressing Acosta, keeping him on the back foot, and honestly landing some hooks here and there and keeping it looking good in the judges. And also, like you said, man, he could. They're 250 pounds. Land a hook and you might put him away.
Yeah, you also got to understand too. He's on the Contender Series. He got to finish, right? He won a decision in Bellator. He got 2 knockouts in LFA.
Yeah.
And then he's got two decisions in the UFC. It's almost like when he gets to that higher stage, um, he just can't finish.
Yeah.
Um, so it wouldn't surprise me if he gets stopped. To be honest with you, and this is um, Cortez Acosta. Even though I mean, his record looks nice, but it's not anything fancy. You know, I mean, there's not killers on there, and
It's
I think
been padded
it's
for sure.
I think it's gonna show, and I think he could get exposed, and it wouldn't surprise me if Bresky shuts the lights off.
I agree, man. This is going to be my other big spot of the night. Uh, so I liked Michael O, and I like Junior Tafa the exact same way. I think he's going to Parker Porter is going to come in and try to wrestle him, and I think Tafa is going to stuff one or two takedowns early, and I think he's going to take his fucking head off like something we haven't seen before. I think Junior Tafa has some different level striking. We've seen his brother Justin Tafa, and I believe they're trained by Mark Hunt, but Junior Tafa has some legitimate boxing. Mark Hunt had really nice boxing, but his was kind of funky. He was a fat guy. Junior Tafa, it's a little different. He's a little slicker. He's a little bit smarter with it. He's a little bit, he flows better with it. I think Junior Tafa, he lost his UFC debut against Muhammad Usman. And before that, he had, some rising wins, some brave wins. But I think Junior Tafa is the goods. He only has 5 UFC fights. He's 26 years old, almost 27, getting better every fight. He got taken down a bunch in that Usman fight. I think he's going to learn from that. I don't think Parker Porter is going to be able to do that to him. And I think he's going to shut his lights out first round, in my opinion. I'm pretty strong on this Junior Tafa first round knockout here. And I do feel like it does help that Parker Porter got beat by Justin Tafa. So Justin
Yeah,
Tafa knocked him out 5 months ago. Justin Tafa's not that good. Justin Tafa is not that good. In my opinion, Junior Tafa's better. But, that's a conversation that is, age old. Or which brother's better, Nate or Nick, that sort of a thing. But for me, Junior Tafa, slicker boxing, better athlete than his brother Justin. And I think he's going to do the exact same thing that Justin did to Parker Porter. Stuff a takedown, land a hook, watch Parker Porter fall over, jump on his back, pound him out. End of story. I think it's pretty binary here. Parker needs to wrestle if he's going to survive. Junior needs to keep it on the feet if he's going to survive. I think Junior does it, gets it done, and makes it look easy, in my opinion.
yeah, I'm with you on this one too. I just don't. First of all, let's be realistic here. When he fought Muhammad Usman, Muhammad Usman is huge, right?
Yeah.
He's he's a big guy. He's fit. Um,
On
he's
steroids.
yeah, he could be on the sauce. I'm not saying if he is or not. Um, and it might not seem like a huge difference, but Usman is 34. Parker is 38. It might not seem that big, especially uh, at heavyweight, but that's a huge age gap. And I think the difference here of being 26 and with Tafa and 38 of Parker Porter, I just think he's going to have much more gas in the tank. Junior Tafa is. He's going to be able to outpace him. I don't see a path for Parker Porter, to be honest with you.
Same here.
Um, I, yeah, I think Parker Porter gets stopped as well, and it wouldn't surprise me if it is a left from Tafa, just like his brother did less than 6 months ago.
They've got the read. It's gonna be easy. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's yeah, I am 100% with you on that.
All right. Pretty easy fight to break down, I thought. This fight's a
Oh
little
yeah.
more interesting. This fight is much more
Uh,
interesting, Tim.
for you, it might be. I already know. I already know what I'm doing. So,
What are you doing?
um, I am all over Blanchfield by sub. Without a doubt. Um, I just, I think it's, I think we're a little bit still kind of awestruck by Talia Santos getting a split decision loss to Shevchenko. Um, but we've also seen Valentina kind of being so dominant. You kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit, um, and don't put in the performances that we know she can. Before that, she's got a sub over Joanne Calderwood, or now Joanne Wood, Roxanne Modafferi, Jillian Robertson. She's got a decision win, and Molly McCann. She's got a decision win. Whatever, we have Erin Blanchfield, who I think is 100% going to be a champion. Went over Andrade. She subbed McCann in friggin' no time. Sub JJ Aldrich with a standing guillotine. Miranda Maverick, she went the distance. And Alpar, she went the distance with. So you're looking at Erin Blanchfield, who has 5 fights in the last just under 2 years. So last year and 10 months, year and 11 months. Whereas Talia Santos has she's had 2 fights in that time frame. 3 fights. I'm sorry. So 3 fights. Active, on a roll, younger, uh, better grappler. I am all over Blanchfield by sub. I think it's gonna be a quick one.
So, I was texting you about this money line. I texted you, I think, like a month ago and said Blanchfield is minus 140 right now. What the fuck? And I still stand by that. I think Blanchfield, everything she's shown us leads me to believe she is just the female Khabib Nurmagomedov. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what she's drinking down there in New York. I don't know what she's eating, horse meat, something. I don't know. But this girl can grapple like I have never seen a women's MMA fighter grapple before. And that's including Tatiana Suarez. I think Blanchfield is a different level. I do. I think Blanchfield is a
I
different level. She blows me away when I watch her fight, man. Tatiana Suarez is great grappler. She's not the athlete Blanchfield is anymore. Blanchfield is an up and coming 24-year-old athlete. The issue I run into is looking at Talia Santos' wins. Joanne Wood, Roxanne Modafferi, Jillian Robertson, Molly McCann. Jillian Robertson, pretty good grappler. Roxanne Modafferi, pretty good grappler. Joanne
Yeah.
Wood, not as good of a grappler. It makes me have pause for concern, but then I just think back on what I saw Erin Blanchfield do in her last 5 fights, and
Yeah.
I think I'm just beyond on board with minus 140 money line. I'll stick to money line because I think Santos might be good enough to not get subbed. She might just get controlled for 2 of the 3 rounds. But I don't know. It scares me. I think Blanchfield definitely can get the sub here. It's just a little dicey between sub and decision for me. So Blanchfield is easily the pick. And honestly, this could be one of those money lines that we look back on and laugh at. Minus 140 We see that when she's a champion and think, wow, she was minus 140 against Talia Santos. That's pretty crazy. So I'll have some on that minus 140 for certain.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I think she's gonna finish her. I think if she gets a decision, right? Um, it'll kind of keep her, on that trajectory where she's gonna be an all-star. If she gets a finish over Talia Santos, she's gonna be fighting for the title probably
Next.
her next fight.
Next for certain. And it just depends if Grasso beats Shevchenko. But if Grasso beats Shevchenko and Blanchfield is the next challenger, Blanchfield is going to put her on her ass and hold her there for 5 straight rounds unless she gets a finish. And she probably gets a finish in a round or two, in my opinion. I think Grasso is an easy fight for Blanchfield.
And now when is they're fighting at Noche, UFC Noche. So that's coming up.
Yeah. Yep. What's the I wonder what the money line is for Blanchfield to be champion by the end of 2024.
Oh, by 2024. If it's plus money, I'm gonna put something on that.
Let me look here. Blanchfield. Gotta go all the way down here. Women's. This is straw weight, right? No,
Yeah,
this is
120. Fly.
flyweight. She's plus 350.
Yeah,
that,
that's
that's a
not bad.
that's a pretty good bet. I don't see who beats her. I mean, Shevchenko is the best option there. But if Shevchenko beats Grasso, they'll have to run the rematch again. It'll be unless Dana White's becomes a dick, which he sometimes does that after a
But
champion.
nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see. I don't want to see Grasso. If Shevchenko wins, I don't want to see Grasso Shevchenko again. I really don't.
It depends if Shevchenko wins it clearly. If she like knocks her out or something, then definitely don't run it back. But if it's like a decision and it's like, 40, 49, 46 or 48, 47, then it might be worth running back again.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think this is exactly what Shevchenko needed. We just saw it with Izzy. When you're on a run, it's tough, but I think she can finish her, uh, restake her claim as the champ, and then um, fight Blanchfield. But at the same time, does Shevchenko want to fight Blanchfield? That's the toughest fight right now. Is Blanchfield for Shevchenko? I think.
Blanchfield's the toughest fight at this 125 division. Period. She is another world of grappler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I think she gets it done against Santos. Santos is tough though. Santos is real athletic, so it'll definitely be a really good if Blanchfield even has an ounce of fraud in her, she's getting fraud checked here. No doubt in my mind. So if she's
I
not
don't.
who we think she is, she'll get fraud checked. I just think she is exactly who we think she is.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think so. 100%. If she gets, here's the thing though. If she gets stopped or it goes to she loses by decision, then they're gonna say, did they rush her? Was it too much too soon? But I think she will be a champion sooner rather than later. I think she definitely will be a champion, no matter the outcome of this fight.
This could be that one fight she needs to lose, or the next one might be. She might need to lose one.
Um,
She's 24. Usually fighters are in
Yes,
their
I mean,
prime between 28 and 32.
yeah, I mean, she's dropped one, but I mean, the way she's just running through people lately. I mean, the Andrade, McCann was a joke. That was probably that was like +3 something. I got hurt to sub McCann.
Dude, her
Um,
control in those grappling positions is like next level. Like she was able to hold that crucifix and hold that position. It's insane. It's crazy. We don't see that very often.
No, but that's the whole thing too, and it makes it easier, and that's why when we just had McCann just fought, and the girl she was fighting, all of her wins were submission. Um,
Yep.
what do you think is gonna happen? We already saw how easily McCann got subbed, so that's the path for victory.
She got her.
Yeah, so we'll see. I really do like her by submission though.
Okay, we'll see what that price is. Because that's probably it's that or decision will be the two most likely outcomes. So those will be the two
Yeah.
most juiced odds. But this next fight is I am gonna probably spend 20 seconds talking about this. I think Rinyan Nakamura is going to
Oh,
take
that
his head
was
off.
perfect.
Thanks,
That
Tim.
was
I've been thinking about it.
absolutely perfect. Wow.
I've been thinking about it. I was literally looking at it going, how the fuck am I going to pronounce this with confidence? And then I pronounced it with confidence and it worked. Yeah, I think he's going to take Fernie Garcia's head off. I think it's going to be quick, and I think he's the real deal. He's minus 700, and I think he probably looks minus 700. I think the hybrid is probably going to make quick work here. He was the guy who we talked about earlier beating, who was that? This guy Kazama from the
Oh,
down the
yeah.
card, and
Yep.
so I watched their road to the UFC fight, and Nakamura is a beast. I think he wins here. He wins here easily, and that's all I've got.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Fernie Garcia lost to Brady Heistand and Journey Newsom. Nothing, nothing really to write home about. I think this is going to be under a round and a finish. So I'm there with you, and this is the last leg in my Japanese parlay. So yeah, I don't think we really have to spend much more time on it. This kid's the real deal. I think. Um, Go to UFC, 2 fights on there. Made his UFC debut with a finish. Um, kid's legit. 28 years old. Um, just prime, ready to rock and roll at 135.
He's the goods, man. He's the goods off this card. I mean, there's a few prospects here like Blanchfield, this kid, and then Junior Tafa, maybe if you believe in him as a prospect, but I don't think there's anyone else on this card that really compares to Blanchfield and Nakamura. They're both beasts. All right,
Um, this one, I'm really pumped for as well.
you have a strong lean.
Yeah, oh yeah. Uh, Giga Chikadze versus Alex Caceres. Giga for me all day. I think he's gonna win, and not only do I think he's gonna win, I think he is going to get um, a finish. These guys are same age. Giga's a little bit bigger. Um, I'm sorry. Yeah, a little bit bigger. Not really a big reach advantage, but the difference is Giga's gonna throw kicks that are absolutely out of this world. Granted, he lost to Calvin Cater. That was I thought that was a really good fight. Nothing wrong with dropping one to Calvin Cater. A year and a half ago, that was kind of a long layoff, but like I said, Cater put it on him. Before that, he's got a win over Barboza, Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson was the one where it was he kicked him right to the body, and then that was it. There's nothing he could do. And he's Jamie Simmons head kick to ground and pound. Omar Morales decision. This guy is legit, and his kicks are vicious. Alex Caceres, he got a decision win over Pineda, um, which was, it was a decent fight. He's got a finish over Julian Rosa. Before that, Sadiq Youssef, he lost to, and then he has a win over Choi, who's starting this card off, and then he's got a win over Kroom. The Bruce Leroy Ultimate Fighter, it, it's it, it's worn off. I think this is kind of the end of the road for him. I think he's going to get finished. I think he'll have a couple more fights, but I think Giga gets back on track here. And I think he's gonna right the wrong of losing to Calvin Cater, and then start making, try and charge up. Um, I think he's gonna do it, and I think he's gonna be phenomenal, and he's gonna look great doing it. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man. I think you probably covered exactly what I was gonna say because I think Caceres is primarily gonna win distance striking fights, and if there's anyone who's gonna be better at a distance striking fight than anyone else at the 145 division, it's probably gonna be Giga Chikadze. Cater got in his face, pushed him against the cage, made it a dirty fight. That's why he won. I don't know if Cater would have won at a distance kickboxing range fight. And Caceres, good fighter, well-rounded guy. If it goes to the ground, he has functionable wrestling, functionable jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't have functional wrestling to take down Giga Chikadze, in my opinion. And I think Giga's going to pick him apart on the feet. We saw what Giga did to Edson Barboza. And I think that's
Yeah.
the only fight that you need to really know how it went and watch to feel comfortable with Giga Chikadze in this position. Because if Giga Chikadze can dispose of Edson Barboza like he did, I don't think Caceres is the level of striker that Edson Barboza is. And I don't think Caceres is going to be able to take Chikadze down. So pretty easy for me here. He's minus 240, I think, on DraftKings. He'll be in some parlays for me. I think it's probably going to be an easy one for him. 3-rounder where he controls the range, kicks, punches, jab. Yeah, Chikadze all day, in my opinion.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, he's got. You're talking. He made his UFC debut. Let's see. Well, he was on the Ultimate Fighter in 2010. So he's had a long career with the UFC. I just don't think. I think it's just not. You know what I mean? To try and make this run, um, at this age with his record, um, and who he's. I mean, it's tough because his last loss was to Sadiq Youssef, right?
Yep.
But
Decent guy.
beat, yeah, but like getting a decision over Daniel Pineda, isn't really gonna do it. If he can get a win here, now it's a different story. But I think Giga took off the amount of time they did to reset and to kind of get back on track because he's the same age. He knows he doesn't. This is going to be his last chance to make the run. He needs this win, and he needs to get it in dominant fashion. So I'll do Giga by knockout.
Yeah, I'm here with you. I think that's a good bet, and I think that's probably how it goes. Man,
This one,
this one's fun.
I'm super pumped. I have a feeling I know who you're gonna pick, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so for me here, I've seen Anthony Smith's last two fights, We saw him against Johnny Walker, and we saw him against Magomed Ankalaev. And in Span's last fight, he lost to Nikita Krylov, who, in my opinion, is a top 7 guy at 205 pounds. We saw him beat Dominic Reyes. We saw him beat Ion Cutelaba. He lost to Anthony Smith 2 years ago, pretty much. And then we saw him beat Misha Serkinov. For me, Ryan Spann made a massive jump between this Ion Cutelaba and Dominic Reyes fight. And within that same time frame, Anthony Smith dropped off into something I've never seen Anthony Smith look like. We saw him fight Magomed Ankalaev, and then I saw him fight Johnny Walker, and he looked like he didn't want to be out there. He looked like he was done fighting. He was saying stuff about Johnny Walker attacking his family that didn't make any sense in the middle of the fight. He wasn't looking sharp. He wasn't looking prepared. He wasn't able to get anything going. And I think if that's going to be the case, then Ryan Spann is probably going to put you out. The money line has got me a little bit up in arms here. I don't know if Spann should be the favorite here. If he moves to the underdog, I would be more than likely, balls deep on that. But him at minus 120 to minus 140 is a bit scary for me, considering it's still Ryan Spann and you don't really know if he cares about his career. He has the athletic ability due to 6'5", 82-inch reach. He has some recent good wins. Ion Cutelaba, Dominic Reyes, some wins that put him on the map. I'm not comfortable betting his money line yet, but I do think he wins this fight more often than Anthony Smith wins this fight. And I know you're an Anthony Smith fan and truther, so I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Yeah, I'm Anthony Smith all day. Here's my reasoning. What happens to Ryan Spann is he does really, really well. Serkinov, he won, right? Then he steps up and fights Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith chokes him out, right? So then he goes back down. He's got a win over Kutalaba, right? And he's got a win over Dominic Reyes, who has lately been a punching bag. And then he steps back up in competition, and he gets choked out. So there's a difference for me, right? When you look at that record, every time you step up, you get choked out. Now, granted, Anthony Smith, last 5, he's got a sub over Devin Clark. Okay. Jimmy Crute. All right. He's got another win over Ryan Spann, who he finished. And the last 2, Ankalaev fought for a title, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Granted, it was a draw. Johnny Walker, 1 win away from fighting for a title?
Yep.
Probably, right? And then if you expand it out even more, Anthony Smith lost to Glover, right?
Yep.
Champ. So you're looking at guys that he's losing to and coming off of a nasty injury. Don't forget he broke his foot in that Ankalaev fight, right?
Yeah.
So you can't. We don't know how that fight would have ended up. And I think he still had an issue with his foot. There was something wasn't 100% right. If it was mental, when he went in and fought Johnny Walker. But Johnny Walker turned a page ever since going to SBG. He is phenomenal, right? I think, to be honest with you, I think he's going to get it done. And do I think he could finish him? I think he could finish Spann. I really, really do. Um, so right after he lost to Glover, right? He fought. He lost. He went to a decision with Rakic. One fight away from once he gets back from probably fighting for his title. So there's no before that. He's got a win over Gustafson. Before lost to John Jones, but he went to a decision with John Jones. This guy is fighting the absolute best of the best. And you're talking since, I mean, he lost to Thiago Santos in 2018, beat Rashad Evans, beat Rua, beat Ozdemir, lost to John Jones, beat Gustafson. There's nothing about Anthony Smith that you can't give him credit for when it comes to fighting the toughest guys and everything like that. But it's the opposite. This is where Anthony Smith takes a step down in level that Jimmy Crute, that Ryan Spann, that Devin Clark, and he finishes them. He finishes them. And then he goes to try and get another title shot. That's what happens. That's what he is going for. I think I you got to go with Anthony Smith here, man. And I'm gonna go with Anthony Smith by finish.
I just don't think Anthony Smith can deal with the athlete, the specimen that is Ryan Spann at this point in his career. Spann, when he beat him 2 years ago, I don't think he was the fighter he is now, but then again, it's still Anthony Smith in there somewhere. It's still the guy who we saw declined the belt. He declined the belt. Do you remember that? When
Yeah.
John Jones kneed him in the face on the ground, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna pull a Aljamain," and that was like 2 weeks after Aljamain. He said, "I'm not pulling an Aljamain," and he got back
No,
up,
that
finished
wasn't
the
2
fight.
weeks.
It was
That
not two
wasn't 2
weeks, but it was a couple. I think it was like within the same year after Aljamain won the belt via.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. Let's find this out.
What are you talking about? When he fought John Jones?
Yes, he fought
That was
John Jones.
dude. John Jones just fought for the first time in 3 years.
All right, 2019. Let's find out when
Yeah,
Aljamain Sterling got the title.
dude, last year.
Not fucking last year. I could be very wrong on this. We'll see. 2021. You're right. I was a year off. I was a fucking year off. Damn.
You were 2 years off. I was a year off. So we'll split the difference, a year and a half.
All right.
Yeah, that was a long. I was gonna say, dude, there's no way. Otherwise, I missed a whole year of fight.
Dude, it's crazy though because we see Anthony Smith fought a month ago. It does not feel like he fought a month ago. It feels like he fought 6 months ago. You know what I
I
mean?
know.
Like time is fucking weird as an MMA fan, but
Yeah,
um,
I know. They all seem like they just fought. I know what you're saying.
yeah. But Ryan Spann for me here, I think he's just gonna be too big, too strong, and his grappling's gotten a lot better. So for me, it'll be Spann. But like I said earlier, I'm not really comfy with that money line. So I'll probably pass, and maybe if it gets to dog money, I'll look at it then. But yeah, I'll take Spann.
I think the guy that's gonna come in better shape is gonna be Anthony Smith.
We'll see. He looked awful in his last fight. That's my only issue. That's my biggest
I
issue here is he looked so bad.
I think he's gonna look phenomenal. I just got that feeling. You know, you get that feeling.
I
Um,
I would love to cheer
it,
for him too. He's from Omaha, Nebraska, which is 2 hours away from me. I would
yeah,
love to cheer for the guy.
yeah. I think Superman Span is probably gonna get choked out, bro. To be honest with you.
Dude, if we're being honest, I'll probably not have any money on this and I might cheer for that. Even though my pick is Span, I might cheer for Anthony Smith here. I like Lionheart. He's been a good veteran in the UFC. Company guy, does his job, gets in there, fights. Oh man, this is. I feel like we missed a big what if with the Korean Zombie when he was gone for that 4 years or whatever it was. Let me find out exactly what it was. When was this? Remember when he had to do that and he was gone for forever?
Yeah, the mandatory,
Yep.
sir.
2013, after Jose Aldo, he did not fight until 2017. So we lost like 4 or 3 years, whatever the math is. I don't know. 4 years, it looks like, of this man's career when he was like 28, 27. I feel like we missed out on what could have been here because he's got the skill set, man. He's got the skill set, and I'm gonna have a little bit of money on him by knockout here, only because the price is gonna be fucking absurd. The
Yeah.
price is gonna be like plus 1,200 or something for the Korean Zombie by knockout because Holloway doesn't get knocked out. Number one, and Chan Sung Jung is plus 520 on the money line. So I'll have a little bit on him by knockout. Other than that, Holloway probably paces him and boxes him up because Holloway is the second best 145 pounder on the planet. And he's never going to beat Alexander Volkanovski, but he's just going to beat everyone else. So I think Max Holloway wins the fight, but from a betting perspective, I'll have a little bit of dough on the Korean Zombie by knockout.
Here's the issue. Um, Everybody is betting heavy on um Max because of the way the zombie looked last fight against Volk, and he got stopped.
That's Volk,
Um,
man.
that's the whole thing, and before that, he won a fight over Danny Gate and then lost a decision to Ortega. Not for nothing. How did Max Holloway look his last fight against against Volk? He didn't look that much better, to be honest with you.
He got the fuck beat
Um,
out of him.
I think first two fights were close. The third one wasn't even wasn't even close by any means. Um, and then Max took Arnold Allen to a decision.
Max won the second
Oh,
fight. I just got to get that out of here. Max beat Volk the
that's
second time.
that's fine. That's fine. Unfortunately for you, the judges didn't agree with you.
Yeah, that was sad,
So,
man.
but here's the thing. He's never been knocked out, and he's taken a lot of punishment. At what point is he gonna get cracked? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. He was talking before about going up to 155. Why are we not at 155 anymore?
Yeah, he
You
needs
know,
to, man. He needs
what,
to.
what happened? What happened with going up to 155? Um, so for me, him not going up to 155 concerns me. If he's having an issue with the cuts, I think that could be a problem. The amount of punishment, and this is going to be a really really tough fight. Um, am I going to bet the Korean Zombie by finish? No. Am I going to bet him money line? Yeah, I think I am.
I might do the same. I'll probably have a little bit of both. A little bit of knockout and a little bit of him on the money line because plus 500, man.
We're talking the way judging has been, um, and we know how tough he is. And you can't say, oh, Volk didn't even want to fight him anymore.
Yeah, Volk wanted the
But
fight to be over.
yeah, so I think he's tough. Um, I think it's gonna be a better fight than everybody thinks. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what everybody thinks.
Yeah, because here's the thing, too, man, is Holloway, Arnold Allen, if I remember right, Arnold Allen was like plus 150 against Max Holloway because I went and watched that fight. Holloway was like minus 175 or minus 200. I think the Korean Zombie can do anything that Arnold Allen can do and more, in my opinion. And then Max's win before that was Yair Rodriguez. Yair took 2 rounds off of him. What can Yair do that the Korean Zombie can't? Maybe those flashy kicks, maybe those crazy elbows, that. But other than that, the Korean Zombie beat him for 5 rounds until the last second of that fight. He was on his way to a 50-45 decision win over Yair Rodriguez. Max, dropped 2 rounds. It looked competitive. It looked close. It looked like a closer than what we thought was normal fight for Max Holloway. So I can't fault you for picking the Korean Zombie based on the price here. I'm doing that. I'll pick him. I'll take a little bit on his money line. I'll take a little bit on the knockout here. And I think it's also his retirement fight. I think this is probably his last fight. He just lost his shot at the belt. He's gonna be 36, and he's 36 years old. After this, what's left for him? Not a lot. So for me, I think you gotta bet Korean Zombie. If you don't bet Korean Zombie, there's nothing to bet here.
I think correct. I think also that you can't say his title aspirations are over. If he gets a win over Max Holloway, and Volk fights Taporia, and then vacates if he wins or loses, and then he goes up to 155, that puts the Korean Zombie in a title fight.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. And they're overseas in Asia. Oh man, I think it's gonna be a really good one. I'm really, really excited for this fight.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked too because we get to see what could be Max's last fight at 145, what could be Korean Zombie's last fight. In general,
Forever.
like this is a good fight to end the night on. Well, the morning. This is a good fight to end the morning on. This will probably be like at 10 a.m. It's pretty sick. It's a good
Yeah.
time to end a fight card. I actually kind of like that, to be honest. Early morning fight. It's a little bit different than what we're used to. We're used to those night cards. I wouldn't like it every weekend, but for once in a while, I'm down for that. I'll be watching. And I think I'm gonna roll through my favorite picks here real quick. I like Billy Goff. I like Mikey O. I like Lucas Brzezinski. I like Junior Tafa. I like Erin Blanchfield. I like Giga Chikadze. And I like Chan Sung Jung. Those are my favorite picks of the card.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's gonna be a nice little parlay too is if you do uh, Giga, Blanchfield, Tafa, and I think you throw in Nakamura. I think
That's a
that's a
good looking
beauty.
parlay. That's a good looking parlay.
That's wow. Yeah, Nakamura, Blanchfield, Tafa, Chikadze.
Let me see what the odds are on that quick if I just throw this up here. So we have Chikadze. Man, Nakamura is minus 800 now. That's pretty steep. Aaron Blanchfield, Junior Tafa.
So
$100
here's
pays 460.
Yeah, and now if you take Nakamura not to win, but to get a finish, win by whatever, that'll drop it down. It's not going to be 800.
Yeah, it'll be like minus 2 or 300 at that point probably.
Yeah, so you could probably put him in as a finish in under 2.5 rounds or under a round and a half, 2.5 if you want to be safe, um, and that'll significantly alter the line.
Yeah, man. This is a decent card now that we looked at it. I was not looking forward to it as much, but now that we kind of talked it through, I got some spots I like. I got some spots that I'm interested in, and I think I'm gonna have some money on come Saturday morning.
Yeah. Listen, I'm all about it.
All right.
So we shall see, and then we get ready for another card coming up the following week. What's anything good the following week?
Is it Sean Strickland yet? Nah, that's the next
No,
week. It's
it's Spivak and gone.
yeah, UFC Paris. That one's also got Rose Namajunas, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and that one starts another early card.
Yeah, let me check this out. I need to check the exact time.
This is gonna be bad. Your girl Rose.
Let me look at this. Gone versus. Oh no, she's fighting Mana. Oh
Yeah,
no, bro, she's gonna get
yeah,
pieced up.
yeah.
Oh no, we got our boy BSD though, which we're never getting plus money on. Remember when we got plus 300 on him against the Bonfim brother?
Yeah.
My goodness, man. Rose, no. What are you doing, Rose?
Mhm.
Goodness.
And then Thoreau. Yeah, she's gonna get smoked. But hey, we gotta leave that to next week, and then we see how we do this week.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Thanks everyone for watching, and Tim, it was good.
It was very good, sir.